What is up, Pokemon Go family? It is your boy, the Ghoul Guy, back at you guys yet again with another video, and today we're going to be looking at a team for the Great League. This team worked out phenomenally for me. If this team seems familiar, essentially it is a copied team from the YouTuber Rise to the Occasion. Shout out to him, a popular, very strong Go Battle League battler on YouTube. I was looking for a team that circled around Pangoro, one of my favorite Pokemons within this meta. Essentially, it is a meta breaker on the fact that there's so many Psywave users right now, and there's a lot of ghost types within the meta as well. Essentially, you know, it being a dark fighting type, it also takes out all the ice and steel types that are also top meta right now. It's just an amazing pick. But essentially, it's centered around Wheezing, Shadow Wheezing with Overheat, a freaking nuke of a move with the new buffed move Sludge, which does tremendous amount of damage, which is insane. And then as well, we got Sableye with the Dazzling Gleam. Main difference between Rise's team that he premiered on his channel and mine is the fact that our Sableye is not a shadow, where his Sableye was a shadow, but this team still worked out phenomenally even with the Sableye not being shadow. So you do not need a shadow to actually make this team work, which is phenomenal. But I've seen a lot of Wheezings lately, so essentially, of course, the team has been going around. A lot of people are using this team, but essentially, I'm just going to showcase how powerful and how amazing this team has been working for me. But before we do that, let's check out the IVs as we always do before we get into it. Alright, first on the list we got Wheezing. Now the Wheezing's IVs aren't the best. Basically, this is the only shadow only had one shadow coughing essentially. When we were able to actually evolve it into the Galarian version. So essentially I had to use what I had, which is not like terrible, but it's really not the best. I mean, it probably is terrible. I didn't really check it on PvPoke, but it was the only one I had. It did what it needed to do, okay, regardless. But we have Fairy Wind, Overheat, and as well as Sludge on the Wheezing here, Shadow Wheezing, which like is just so flexible. This Pokemon is super flexible within the meta, which is awesome. And then as well, we got the Sableye. Let's see, Sableye. Dang, I got so many freaking Sableye, it's ridiculous. Okay, here's our Sableye here, with some really good PvP IVs as well. Essentially, we got Shadow Claw, Dazzling Gleam, the new move Dazzling Gleam, and as well as Foul Play with the Sableye. Such a flexible Pokemon within the meta. Really good Pokemon to use as a switch as well, just because it's able to basically do almost dang near everything against any Pokemon. It's able to take shields, and as well as it's able to, you know, deplete opponents' health, of course, and it's very spammy with the foul plays, which is also nice. Shadow, of course, is probably going to be just a little better just because of the fact that it's able to essentially deal a lot more damage, but I do like the fact that my Sableye is not Shadow because it is able to take a little bit more damage. So, you know, give and take. And then as well, we have our Pangoro. Now, the Pangoro for sure does not have good IVs. I can tell you that right now. I hatched it from an egg. I did not do any trades at all. Definitely want to do some trades if you do want to actually get some good PvP IVs. I know we had the Fuzzy Buddy event not too long ago, and I'm pretty sure from all of the researches, you're definitely still going to have to do some trades to actually, you know, get it down. But also, too, I don't even think you're going to be able to get one that's actually a lower CP. Pangoro is really a rare Pokemon to actually get in the Great League. But anyway, luckily, we have one here for this video. We got Karate Chop, Night Slash, and as well as Close Combat on this Pangoro here. Such an amazing Pokemon. But without further ado, let's get into the battles. But yeah, this team worked out phenomenally for me. I have been working with this team basically for the whole week, essentially. So definitely very familiar with the team so far. So we have a good lead here with the Shadow Weezing against the Pangoro. They end up switching into a Dusclops. I'm thinking here, why not just try to bait? But at the same time, I forgot that Dusclops is a tanky boy. So regardless if I had, I forgot what the actual Brutal Swing. Regardless if I had Brutal Swing or not, essentially they were not going to shield whatsoever, which makes sense for them not to shield. I'm just going to take the Shadow Punch. Why not? I definitely was going to be able to take it regardless. It's able to be tanky, but damage wise it's not able to deal that much damage, so we were able to take that fine. We switch into the Sableye, doing some Shadow Claw damage, which is very nice for us. We end up taking a Ice Punch to the face, which of course, as it's non-Shadow, Sableye is going to be able to take that. We do charge up to a good amount of energy on the Foul Play, and we throw one Foul Play. We do get a shield, which is very nice. They end up switching into dang, I almost forgot what this Pokemon is, actually. I do want to revisit this Pokemon too, actually. Okay, Emolga. I don't know why I keep thinking Morpeko, but of course, you know, it's a different kind of electric mouse Pokemon. Anyway, the Emolga comes out here, ends up taking us out with the discharge. We at least get some damage off on it. I don't want to return shields. I want to keep the shields for the Weezing. Weezing is just such a flexible Pokemon. I definitely want to keep the shields for the Weezing, but looks like we are able to use just our first shield there. We are down one shield each. I'm going to be able to throw a Sludge here. Let's see if we end up KOing the Emolga, or do they use their last shield. Basically just baiting it here. I don't really need that many bubbles to hit, and boom, we end up switching into the Pangoro. As they switch into the Dusclops, are they going to be throwing the Shadow Punch? It's not. It's going to be the Ice Punch, but I'm still going to be able to take it regardless. And they switch back into their Pangoro. Now they have a shield, we have a shield. Let's see what happens. Alright, so they throw a Night Slash. They bait the Night Slash, which is fine. We're gonna bait a Night Slash here as well. I'm gonna see if I can try to get a shield. If they do use a shield, I do have an opportunity to win here. Let's see if I can get to this close combat before they get to their charge move, and we do. We get to the close combat before they get to their next charge move, and we are gonna be able to take out their Pangoro. Look at that. And now it's pretty much just the Weezing and the Dusclops here. We have a resisted Sludge, but the Sludge with the shadow damage, Stab is gonna still take out this Dusclops here. It's already low on health, and we end up winning that game. That was definitely a close one, for sure. That was definitely a close one. Probably could have played it even a little better there, but that was nice. That was just a nice play. I love that. I love that. There's a lot of like close plays in this in these battles. That's what I love. Just the fact that yeah, it was pretty tight. It was pretty tight. I love it. But anyway, going into the next match, let's see what we got here. We got Weezing versus the Azumarill. This is where we want to see Weezing, just because of the poison damage, and the stab on the Sludge is going to do a tremendous amount of damage onto this Azumarill. Let's see if they end up taking it or not. Azumarill is tanky, so they probably don't even shield here. Let's see. They don't. Okay, so they don't shield, but we do take a majority of the health off of the Azumarill, which is nice. We already take it to the yellow, pretty much a little bit more than half anyway. I'm gonna use a shield here, just because Ice Beam, it wouldn't have took us out, but at the same time, I did not want to. Yeah, I didn't want to basically get hit with Ice Beam and lower the HP on the Weezing. As I said, Weezing very flexible. Definitely want to keep it healthy. Basically, switch into the Bastiodon. I should have switched into my Pangoro, which I'm so used to just switching directly into the Sableye, but that's completely my fault. We're just gonna play it out anyway. I'm not gonna shield here at all on the Bastiodon. Basically, they're gonna hit us with the Stone Edge. Sableye is gonna be able to survive the Stone Edge, which is fine. I'm gonna build up to 2 foul plays. Pretty much I almost got to the last foul play, but I'm gonna still be able to get to the last foul play. But essentially just want to lower the health. Oh, and I get the shield, which they really did not need the shield whatsoever. Foul plays definitely wouldn't have took out that Bastiodon whatsoever, but we do end up getting a shield, which is very nice, and we are going to be able to still give off another foul play, which is awesome as well. They end up taking the Sableye out, and at this point we know they have a charge move ready. We're going to switch in our Pangoro to take this Stone Edge. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Stone Edge, and it could either be a Stone Edge or a Flamethrower. Pretty sure it's going to be Stone Edge. Let's see. And it is Stone Edge. There it is. And I am going to be able to tank that. And they switch back into the Azumarill, which we are going to be able to catch with our Weezing. We already have 2 Sludges built up. If they do end up using a shield, basically it's just going to take it out regardless. Boom. We end up taking that out. And we also have the Overheat for the Bastiodon. Is the Bastiodon going to take this Overheat or not? Let's see what happens here. Boom. It ends up taking the Overheat and getting smacked in the process. They bring out a Groudon, the Shadow. I think this is the Shadow. Yeah, the Shadow Groudon. And yeah, they pretty much end up conceding the match there. Yeah, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was probably going to be able to get to the Overheat before they even got to their charge move, and I don't think Groudon being in the Great League is that tanky. And plus, we also have the Pangoro in the back, so they probably were thinking, nah, I'm not gonna try that. I'm not gonna try that. Anyway, going into the next match, we have another good match. We have Malamar versus the Weezing. Well, I would say pretty evenly matched, just because of the fact that Psy Waves are going to be doing a whole bunch of damage to the Weezing, which is very unfortunate there. But the Fairy Winds, and as well as this Sludge that I'm able to get to really fast, is going to do a tremendous amount of damage. We end up switching into the Sableye because I wanted to catch a move on the Sableye here, but they end up saving that charge move and switching into a Drapion. Now with Drapion, I know I am part dark, so Crunch shouldn't do that much of damage. I mean, it does do that much damage. It's a Shadow Drapion. What am I talking about? But it did do a decent amount of damage. I knew it wasn't going to KO me. We do get to Dazzling Gleam, which does do a good amount of damage onto this Drapion, which is very nice. As I said, we're going to save our shields here. Essentially, Sableye is just there to throw in there anytime, you know, essentially I need a Pokemon there to take a few hits so we can save shields, or if it can take shields, which is very nice. Unfortunately, they end up getting to a charge move before I am able to farm it down, which is very unfortunate. Drapion is such a spammy Pokemon, but it is what it is, and we do get some farm down energy, which is nice. Let's see what they end up bringing in next. They bring back in the Malamar. Unfortunately, we are going to have to shield yet again. Now, it does have foul play and as well as superpower. I probably could have just took it. To be honest, I probably could have just took it, but anyways, we're just going to use our overheat here just to see if it ends up taking out the Cradily. Unfortunately, they end up using a shield, but not too unfortunate, because I believe that is their last shield. So as long as I'm able to survive this move, I should be able to actually take out this Cradily no problem with a what do I call it? Close combat. I was about to say cross poison for some reason, but anyway. Actually, do they have another shield? I thought they only had one shield. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so they only had one more shield. I think they only had that. Yeah, that was like their last shield. I don't know why. Like in this moment, I think I was thinking that they had one more shield. Oh, actually they do. They do have one. Okay, so I was smart about this. Okay, I was actually smart about this. But anyway, yeah, so essentially they are going to be able to get this next charge move off. Now, if I used a close combat earlier, oh yeah, so okay, we farm down the Malamar here, and we should be able to get to the Sludge, which ends up, well, should end up KOing the Cradily here. Let's see if it does. Boom, it does, and we end up winning that game. But yeah, if I used close combat earlier, essentially I definitely would have been able to take out that Cradily ahead of time, which it would have been a little bit smoother of a game, but at the same time I knew they had that last shield and I did not want to take any chances at all. So Luckily, we were smart about the play, building up to 2 Night Slashes, essentially taking down the Credilli's health and getting that last shield, which is nice. We end up doing a Wheezing going against a Charger Bug. I don't know, we got a good, well, I would say decent lead here with the Wheezing versus the Charger Bug. We are going to be able to get to the Sludge before the Charger Bug gets to his charge move, which Sludge, look how much damage it does from a Shadow Wheezing. Oh my goodness, does a whole bunch of damage. Now I'm thinking here, do I want to shield this or not? I believe I'm resistant to X-Scissor, but at the same time, Discharge still does a decent amount of damage, which is very unfortunate. But we are able to get to another Sludge here, and that should be KOing their Charger Bug, unless they shield, which they do not. They end up switching into a Dunsparce, and this is where I keep doing it. I don't know why I keep doing it. I should have switched into a Pangoro, but it is what it is. I probably would have been switch locked anyway. If I switched into a Pangoro, they switch into the Dunsparce, and then they switch out just because they got KO'd before. So I would have had a time like where I had to stay in anyway. So it actually was a smart play for me to actually stay in with Sableye. We are going to be able to get to a Dazzling Gleam. For some reason also too, I was thinking in my head like Dazzling Gleam is a little stronger than the other charge move I have with the foul play, but I probably could have just built up to 2 foul plays and probably just played it out that way. But I was thinking, might as well just use Dazzling Gleam, get as much damage off as possible at first, and then just kind of spam with the other charge move there, but unfortunately that did not work out. But we did get a shield, which is very nice. As I said, Sableye really good at getting those shields, which is really good. And we have the Pangoro actually lined up with the Dunsparce, which is very nice. They end up switching into a Blastoise. Now, the thing is, Blastoise, his quick move is going to be resistant to me, essentially as a fighting type. I believe the rollout does not do that much damage to me whatsoever. So we are going to be able to build up to a Night Slash, but unfortunately we were not able to build up to another one. I mean, we were, but I probably should have used it a little earlier, but I was trying to build up to another one. I wasn't too sure on I'm not too sure on the counts on rollout users. It's very hard to actually figure out the counts on rollout users, but we are going to be able to get to another Night Slash, which is awesome. That is the spamminess of Pangoro, man. I love to see the spamminess of Pangoro doing its freaking thing. Night Slash, another Night Slash coming through, taking out the Blastoise. What do they have in the back still? They still have that Dunsparce that's pretty much low on health. We end up switching into the Shadow Wheezing that basically ends up just farming down the rest of this Dunsparce, and we end up winning that game. That was awesome. That was awesome. But yeah, like if I were to switch into the Pangoro as soon as they switched out into the Dunsparce, I definitely would have been locked into that match, just because of the fact is because their Pokemon died. So yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking of it in my head, but yeah, that was definitely the right play for me. But anyway, they have a Fortress versus our Shadow Wheezing in this next match. We are going to be able to get to the Overheat. Let's see if they end up shielding the Overheat. Yes, they do end up shielding the Overheat, but we do get a shield, which is very nice. We end up switching into the Sableye. Our safe Sableye, let's call it that, the safe switch Sableye. Freaking amazing. They hit us with the Rock Tomb, definitely going to debuff our attack, which is very unfortunate. But looks like we hold on to our charge move, and we do get to a Dazzling Gleam. If we threw a foul play, of course, would have been resisted against this what do you call it? Togetic? Is it not? What do you call it? Yeah, Togetic. Oh my goodness. That was like, but anyway, they get to the Togetic, but we do get to 2 Dazzling Gleams, which is awesome. Amazing. That is why it's a good thing to actually hold on to your charge moves for sure. I was able to get to 2 Dazzling Gleams here, taking out majority of the health on the Togetic before it was actually able to take us out, which is awesome. They're going to end up taking us out here, and we could just basically switch back into our Wheezing, which we should be able to just farm down the rest of the way, build up some energy onto our Shadow Wheezing. I wanted to wait till the switch clock, make sure we get enough time for the switch clock. We're just going to shield this because I didn't know exactly what it would have had. I forgot. Yeah, it does have a psychic move now, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot what it's called. Shy Shock. It has Shy Shock now. So definitely a good shield on my part, just in case it did have that Shy Shock. They end up switching back into the fortress. We end up taking the Rock Tomb. And they end up switching into a Credilli after taking out the freaking... Well, I forgot. They didn't switch in. Yeah, they switched back into the fortress, and yeah, they brought back in the Credilli after throwing the Rock Tomb, debuffing, and as well as taking out a good amount of our health on our Shadow Weezing, which is very unfortunate. But we do have the Pangoro here that should be able to take a Grass Knot, which does a good amount of damage, which is unfortunate. But looks like we are going to be able to just build up enough energy. Basically, what I wanted to do, build up enough energy to where I'm able to take out the Credilli and get to a close combat for this fortress in the back here. Can I get there? Unfortunately, I cannot get to the close combat, but hopefully they think this is a close combat and they end up shielding here. That will save the game. Unfortunately, they do not, and I believe they still have one more shield left. This is the game. This is what we have to do here. Basically, we have to bait the sludge, and then we have to build up to the overheat. Let's see if this ends up working out here. We get to the sludge. Now, does this sludge get the shield? And it does. It gets the shield, and we can get to the freaking overheat before the Shadow Weezing ends up getting KO'd. Overheat is double super effective. It's definitely going to KO this, and boom, you are out of here. Well, other than the fact that it literally had a smidget of health. But anyway, we end up winning that game. But yeah, if this doesn't already show you enough how strong this team is, yeah, I mean, like, it's a super strong team. Essentially, I can see why somebody like Rise to the Occasion's using it, especially being one of the top ranked players within the Go Battle League. But yeah, that is the team. That is how amazing it is. I got Shadow Weezing, Pangoro, and freaking Sableye, bro. Such an amazing and safe switch in this meta. But anyway, that is the end of the video. Definitely let me know what you guys think of the team, and what you guys are running in the Great League, because I believe we have one more week of the Great League as well, with the Premier Master League, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, let me know what you guys are running down below, and definitely leave me a like and subscribe to the channel, as it helps the channel grow, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace out.